I'm kind of reaching a point where I'm just fully convinced there's not a team in basketball that can beat the Thunder if they're fully healthy playing at their best. And I say that, I know the Bulls or the Bucks kind of handed their butts to them a couple weeks ago in the finals of the NBA Cup. That was a fluke game. Let's be totally honest here in a lot of ways. And again, the Thunder haven't had Chet and won't have him for a while, but they will for the playoffs. This team just eviscerated the New York Knicks in the fourth quarter. Absolutely dominant performance. Didn't get a highly efficient Shea game by his standards, and yet just walked this Knicks team down in the fourth quarter. The Knicks had won 9 games in a row. Like, the Knicks are a championship contending caliber team, and the Knicks also have the one thing that felt like it was kind of the Thunder's kryptonite, and that is a big, versatile big. Karl-Anthony Towns, 22 rebounds, 17 points tonight. That rebounding is going to be an issue for the Thunder. In fact, that might be their biggest issue, even with Chet back, is some of the rebounding issues. But good Lord, this team is so good in so many different ways, and they're so deep. That's the other thing. The depth on this roster is unbelievable. I mean, AJ Mitchell and Aaron Wiggins would be starters on a lot of NBA teams. Those dudes like have nights where they just don't play very much. And those dudes are good. Like, those are some dogs, bro. Like, this team is crazy. How did we as the NBA let them get AJ Mitchell for free this year too? Like, they added another really good, really valuable role player to the equation. This team is so good without Chet Holmgren. It's terrifying, honestly. Before we hop into discuss more, if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Help me push towards the 2,000 subscriber mark on the channel. Uploading every single day, tons of consistent daily My Team content. Would really appreciate it. Consistent daily NBA content. Would really appreciate it if y'all do subscribe. Without further ado, obviously the Thunder are running away with the 1 seed in the West. At this point, they're 6 games up. I don't see how they don't get the 1 seed. They look to be clearly the best team in the West. They've reached the point. Honestly, them and the Cavs have both reached the point where I just expect them to win every single night, no matter what. Like, I just turn them on and I expect them to win. And the Celtics are kind of in that same category as well, especially when they're healthy, although they have 9 losses compared to the Cavs 4 and the Thunder 5. As good as the Cavs are, it's hard to not look at the Thunder and go, this team is this good without Chet Holmgren. How are they not the favorites? I predicted they would win the title this year before the season started. I said Thunder over Celtics in the finals. And you know what? Feeling pretty smart right now. I'm not going to lie to y'all, because this team looks unbelievable. They look almost unbeatable in a lot of ways. They've won 14 games in a row, not including the NBA Cup final, which didn't count towards win-loss record for the regular season, so that worked out for them. But not counting that game, they've won 14 games in a row. Shea is having an MVP caliber season, and Shea is being helped by the fact that the Nuggets cannot get out of their own damn way. So Shea is probably going to win MVP. I mean, if things continue the way they have for the Nuggets. 31 points a game. I mean, his 3-point percentage isn't great. He's been better and shooting a lot more threes this season. I will say that his volume of threes has gone up a lot, but he's still not a super efficient 3-point shooter. I'm not certain he'll ever be like a 40% 3-point shooter, and that's okay. He's still a very, very impactful player, and the fact that he is willing to shoot the 3 and shoots it at a pretty high level is good enough. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, that's probably one of his biggest flaws. Outside of that, the dude is one of the smoothest scorers in the game. He gets to his spots with such ease. He's so absolutely automatic from anywhere around the rim to about 20 feet. Like, he is just automatic, fading to both sides, off the dribble, off the catch. Like, whatever he's doing, he is going to do it at a high level. And J-Dub is one of those co-stars who's just another do-it-all player. Put the ball on the floor, shot create for himself, catch and shoot, attack the rim, play defense at a super high level, one of the better defensive wings in the league. Like, that is incredible as your starting duo, or the duo that you start your team with between SGA and J-Dub. Obviously, Hartenstein, his ability to be a passer, a rebounder, a serious inside big, all that type of stuff has been very valuable to them since he's gotten healthy. And he may not be a shooter, or at least not a consistent shooter, but he's still a really talented, really useful player for this team, whose vision and all-around versatility as a big makes him another big threat and a guy who you have to respect and stay up high on him because of his passing ability. Helps to continue to open up the floor as well when you have a big like Hartenstein who can pass the ball the way that he can. Lou Dort shooting 40% from 3 this year. Defensively, he's elite. Like, you just can't, again, sit here and not say the dude is an absolutely elite level talent on the defensive end of the court. And if he's shooting the 3 ball like this, he becomes a really valuable role player. Cason Wallace, another dog, hard-nosed defender, not shooting the 3 well this season. I'm not certain how much of a role he will have come playoff time, but he can be a little bit of a decent playmaker as well. One of the good things about Lou Dort, Cason Wallace, both those guys have really accepted their roles. They don't turn the ball over. They don't try to do too much. Dort used to do a little bit too much at times, or a lot too much sometimes, and he has really accepted his role and plays it at a high level. Cason Wallace has always accepted his role since he entered the league and is playing that at a high level as well. Chet was playing really well before injury. Obviously, that was a while ago, but at this point, I mean, obviously he's going to come back and become one of the more versatile, impactful two-way defensive bigs in the league. A guy who can stretch the floor at a pretty high level. He's going to be a 37, 38% three-point shooter. He's going to score 17 and average, and I don't know, 8-9 rebounds a game. Like, him being able to split minutes with Hartenstein, I think is going to help. They're going to have so much lineup versatility, the ability to put both those guys in the court and kind of remove the rebounding concerns entirely. If they have both those guys in the court in certain matchups, will be really good. And I think that'll help when it comes to matching up with really big teams or guys with dominant bigs, teams with dominant bigs like the Bucks, like the Nuggets, teams like that. The ability to have dual bigs will be a very valuable option. I mean, Aaron Wiggins is having a great year in very small usage. Like, I feel like he's a guy who would be really, really desired by other NBA teams. Isaiah Joe, same type of role. Alex Caruso coming off the bench is a defensive hard-nosed dog, and he's shooting the three ball the worst he has in a very long time, and yet it simply doesn't matter because he's so impactful defensively, and we can trust that the three-point percentage is going to go up at least some as the season progresses. AJ Mitchell, yes, on low attempts, is shooting ridiculously from three, has been a absolute steal for them. Again, another hyper-efficient, really good player so far in his rookie season. Kendrick Williams barely plays, and he's a legit stud. Guy who shoots the three ball at a super high level, plays some small ball five, plays the four, another really high effort player. Was a lot of fun to watch for them in the past when he had a bigger role. Jay Will another guy who doesn't really play much and probably won't play at all once Chet is back, and yet is another guy who can space the floor a little bit as a big, high effort dude, takes a ton of charges. He led the NBA in charges a couple years ago. He led college basketball in charges 2 or 3 years in a row. Like, this team is ridiculously deep. They're so talented and they're so deep. And when you have the combination of both those things, it is a match made in heaven because they have the ability to weather injuries. They have the ability to play different rotations and different roles on a night-to-night basis, especially once they get both of their bigs healthy and Chet and Hartenstein. Like, you look at this team and you just, it's hard to poke holes in what they're doing because even the things that you can criticize the most, like the rebounding, can be fixed with a healthy Chet and different lineups and stuff like that. And it's clearly not hurting them that much. They got the best defensive rating in the league by a mile, 102.9. That would be by far and away the best defensive rating in the league last season as well. And then offensive rating, oh my gosh, they're not as good. They're only 7th. And big whoop. They're an elite offensive team and the best defensive team in basketball. They have the best net rating in the league. Like, this team is absolute must-watch television on a night-to-night basis. They're absolutely incredible. And they should be the favorites in the whole NBA. As much as I praise the Cavs, as much as I talk about the Celtics, and we know how scary the Celtics are, how are the Thunder not the favorites at this point? I mean, they're playing so well in so many ways. It's hard to find things to criticize with this team right now, in all honesty. 14 games in a row. The only loss coming in that in-season tournament game to the Bucks, which again was kind of an outlier game in a lot of ways. The one thing I will say about the Thunder, though, they got an exciting schedule coming up. We get to watch them play against Boston, Cleveland, and the Knicks again in their next 3 games on Sunday, Wednesday, and Friday of this next week. Those will be fun games. You know, I'm going to tune in for all 3. It's going to be exciting to see how they play against Boston, Cleveland, and again, New York, some of the biggest contenders in all of basketball. And then later that week, I mean, they play Cleveland again. Dallas would be an amazing matchup too if Luka was healthy, but he's not. That's unfortunate. They're going to play Dallas without Luka twice in the next couple weeks as well, which is a shame because I, as a Mavs fan, would love to see that matchup again with a healthy Luka. But either way, they're going to get some of these marquee options soon, and we're going to get to watch some of these games in the near future that are going to be awesome, awesome games between some of the best teams in the league. And look, if it was me right now, look, I picked the Thunder to win the title before the season. I'm sticking with it. I think this team's won an NBA championship. I hope I'm wrong. As a Mavs fan, I hope we win it, but I don't think it's going to happen. I think the Oklahoma City Thunder are going to win the 2024-25 NBA championship, and this team just looks, when they're playing well, they look unbeatable. When they're playing bad, they still look hard to beat. It's remarkable how good this team is. I hope y'all did enjoy the video. If you did, make sure you hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. I will be back with more NBA content very, very soon, and I appreciate y'all. Peace.